got something a little different today. Got a bonus episode. I'll tell you what happened. Dane had a chance to go out to the Sedona Mountain Bike Fest. I was up snowboarding, and Brian had at the time, so I couldn't go with him. But during his trip and his visit to the Sedona Mountain Bike Fest, he had a chance to sit down with Sam Elmes from Rocky Mountain Bikes. Sam is a regional sales rep for Rocky Mountain for our region. And in that conversation with Dane, they get into a whole bunch of cool topics, starting out with some specifics on the new Rocky Mountain Instinct that Rocky Mountain just announced about a week ago. That's their 140, 150 trail bike. It's got a geo refresh and some new tech. They go into some really cool details. So if you're into trail bikes, you're into Rocky, you should give it a listen. Additionally, throughout the conversation, they also cover, highlights on Rocky's lineup, their total mountain bike lineup. There is some recent and past stories from the Sedona Mountain Bike Fest that are, interesting and unique. And then, as usual, as you would expect, in an MCP podcast, you're going to get some rabbit holes. And so definitely, they got some cool rabbit holes that they went down during the conversation. So, definitely worth giving it a listen, and kudos to Dane for going out and doing his first podcast on his own. I think he did a great job. If you think so too, please let him know. If you don't think so, also please let him know. All we can do is get better. So anyways, I'm going to cut over to the episode now. Hope you enjoy the conversation between Dane and Sam Elmes from Rocky Mountain Bikes out at the Sedona Mountain Bike Festival. Thanks a lot.
This is Dane with Mountain Cog podcast, and we are at Sedona Fest. And we are interviewing Sam Elmes with Rocky Mountain Bikes. And now I get to ask you, what's your title?
My title is I am the sales representative for the Intermountain West region of the U.S.
Oh, I'm glad I didn't have to say that. I would have messed that up, man. So we should explain what Sedona Fest is. It's a big mountain bike festival in Sedona, Arizona, which is beautiful. We do have listeners all over the world. So a little description of Sedona: red rocks, huge mesas, and what do you call these, bluffs, I guess, but just beautiful. It's famous for vortexes.
Yes.
Awesome mountain biking. It's
some
amazing.
Crystals as well.
Crystals, yes. It's very spiritual. It's very. It's a small town. There's interesting thing that I found out is they don't allow chain stores.
That's right.
Yeah, which is kind of cool. So it's all the businesses and restaurants are locally owned. Just a cool place. Definitely one of the must-sees in Arizona when you visit Arizona.
With phenomenal mountain biking.
Yes, with the mountain biking. So we rode, you didn't get to ride, sorry, I didn't invite you. I know you're working. Yeah. So, but the guys and I rode Hangover Trail, which is famous. And nobody died. There is some skin still up there that Garland left. So there is some of that. And then, something that people may notice, Josh is not here. Josh had a family obligation and couldn't make it. He's pretty bummed because I keep sending him awesome pictures. But he's not here. So this is my first solo, by the way. So thank you for being my first.
You're so welcome. Yeah. And this is the first podcast I've ever done.
Is it? Nice.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty easy. We just talk. It's not a big deal. The more that we can play around, the better, honestly. Because if we're too boring and get too technical, people just tune out. So, but I do want to use this because you are with Rocky Mountain. Most people that listen to this and maybe know me know that I do love Rocky Mountain Bikes. And I love to have that knowledge. And so maybe touch on a couple things. We're going to talk about the brand new Instinct that just dropped. Was it Tuesday? Wednesday. Yes. Just dropped Wednesday. So it's a redesign. It's not crazy different, but some notable differences.
Yeah.
So like the first thing that I noticed looking at the bike is, they got carbon and aluminum options.
Yep.
Is the penalty box. The penalty box is the newest thing that I noticed. I love the name, and you guys are Canadian origin, right?
Yes.
So
hockey puns everywhere.
Yep, hockey puns, yeah. Is there more that I just didn't get? I mean, altitude.
The Jumbotron on the power play.
Oh, no way. I did not get that. That's totally cool. Okay, all right. I like that. Okay, so it's got a penalty box now. So that's a down tube storage device. It looks like you got a little stash sack in there.
Yeah, so technically it's the penalty box 2.0. We debuted frame storage on the Slayer.
Oh, yeah.
Which was the Penalty Box 1.0, that was more of a magnetized system, to which Penalty Box 2.0, we went to a dual action cam, and already, if we can improve something, we'll do it as quickly as we want.
So that's like how the lid attaches.
Yeah.
So was the magnets on the Slayers falling off?
I personally haven't had that experience, and I've ridden the Slayer quite a bit. I've heard some rumors of other people running into that. Yeah. It's a slick system, but I think we found some more security with the Penalty Box 2.0.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I like it. We just saw the bikes. I'll try and post some pictures on our Facebook page so anybody who's listening to this can check them out.
A big thing, too, is with the Slayer, the water bottle bosses were separate from the lid of Penalty Box 1.0, and we wanted to maximize space for other things, so putting the cage, being able to mount the cage on top of Penalty Box 1.0 was a goal.
Awesome. And you got to have a hinge, because if you had a bottle on a magnet one, it would fall right off.
Yeah, that extra weight.
And that would suck. I don't use bottles. I just started using bottles probably this year. It's a big deal. I walked up to the guys at the trail, and I'm like, you guys know anything different? Something I haven't done for over 10 years. Nobody could figure it out. And I had a bottle on my bike, and I'm getting a little bit more. I run a hip pack, and I have a bunch of stuff, plugs for my tires and flat repair and a pump. So,
yeah.
Okay. Back to the Instinct. So, carbon and aluminum. Does the aluminum have the Penalty Box?
It does not.
Okay. So that's notable. All right.
Yeah.
Same geometry on the aluminums versus the carbon?
That's correct.
Okay. And then, you used to have Ride 9.
Yes.
Now, has that changed?
It has changed. And this has been, evolving over the past few years, especially with our newer Power Play models going to Ride 4 from Ride 9. The new Instinct goes to Ride 4. And, I'll say, I think the biggest reasons are 9 positions can often come across as overwhelming.
Yeah, that's what she said.
That was very well executed.
That was quick for me. I'm not that quick usually. So, okay, back to the bike.
The amount of adjustability with Ride 9 is pretty insane. And arguably on the market, I don't think there's much like that, and for how quickly adjustable it can be. But with Ride 4, you still have a wide range, but we're able to go to single-sided hardware, so it's even faster to switch around.
How do you get the hole in the other side? Okay, so first, and I'm sorry to interrupt because I have to remember stuff, because remember, my first time.
Yeah.
So Josh is going to be critiquing this intensively.
Right.
And so first, the Ride 9, what we're talking about is on the link at the back of the shock on the bike is on the Ride 9s were 2 squares that are off center, and then they have a hole drilled in them.
Yeah.
And you can pull that hardware apart and rotate them. And what that effectively does is it changes the head tube angle, bottom bracket height, and it can even affect the progressive rate of the shock. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. I sell Rockies, so I should know what I'm talking about, but I do make stuff up. So it's a
geometry adjustment system, and I always like to tell people at demo events such as Sedona Mountain Bike Festival that it's different than a flip chip.
Okay.
I think flip chips, generally speaking, take longer to flip. They're not as accessible as Ride 4 or Ride 9. And Ride 4 has a pretty massive adjustment in its own right.
Yeah. The website even has different geometry charts.
Correct.
Yeah. Which is cool, because then people who really geek out on the numbers can start looking at the head angles. When we sell them in the shop, it's a huge advantage because number one, when somebody comes into the shop, they're looking for a bike they may not get to ride. And they're worried that they're going to make a decision. And I feel like a bike should last 10 years. Now, I know they don't, and it's fun to get new stuff, but I feel like it should last 10 years. So when you're weighing that decision, I don't mind somebody who's really taking time to think about it. And what I love about the Rockies adjustment is that you can change it. And so when somebody walks into the shop and they're worried about the head angle of this bike and my old bike and what's it going to do, the Rockies give you a peace of mind that you can really customize that bike to the person. So they may put in one setting and just stick it there and leave it.
Yep.
Or like me, when I ride park, I adjust it. And then when I ride trail, I adjust it again. And so that's been one of the biggest reasons that I've really loved Rocky mountain bikes. And so back to the 4 versus the 9.
Yep.
So
it, I think we've also reached a state in the industry where angles are kind of stabilizing as far as intended usage.
you say that, but the new head angle, like on the Element, is
True.
pretty crazy.
That's right.
And people are loving it, and it's way slacker than anyone would put on.
It's incredible.
A couple years ago, nobody would have said you have that head angle on a cross country bike. And,
so within the Ride 4 system, the Element in the neutral location has a 65.5 degree head tube.
Thank you, because I'll never remember that.
And that is very slack for a 130, 120 down country-esque bike.
We've got cross country guys riding it, and they love it. Like Bryant at the shop said it's his favorite new bike, and he's riding his other bike is a Pivot with live valve.
Yeah.
So very light, very fast, very speedy bike. And I'm sorry, Trader, if you're listening to this, but Bryant likes the Element better. Now we got to get Bryant on a new bike, so just throwing that out there. But the Element is really making a lot of people smile, and you can race it, but you can. I mean, Justin is doing big stuff on the Element, like Bug Springs, which is a pretty aggressive trail. Not the best to do it all the time, but it's pretty versatile bike.
Very.
So that was the first one that I saw that went to the 4.
Yep.
Is that right?
That was right. And I think our story with Element, and it's also a lighter weight system, and we're not talking too many grams, but there's less hardware. So it is a lighter system as well.
Yeah. I like the simplification. One of the things that I run into is people talk about Ride 9. They get a little lost in 9 different positions and what they do. We're good at the shop. We kind of help them understand there's basically, if you took a square and put 9 holes in it, and it's at an angle, and you did it diagonal angle,
right?
That is really adjusting your head angle and bottom bracket height.
Yeah.
And then when you do the opposite angle, it's really, those outside adjustments are really doing mostly progression in the shock and how the shock's going to feel. They're doing a little bit. And then the other adjustments are just fine tuning and letting you really just get with it. I think the 4 really takes some of the unnecessary positions out,
And one of my, head tube angle in general, which is a very key part of how a bike rides, is also a very buzzy term.
Yeah.
And what I love to do at events such as this is people will come up and ask, what's the head tube angle of that bike? And I'll reply with, what would you like it to be?
Yeah. I say that in the shop too, believe it or not. So yeah.
And sometimes I can't get it there, but more often than not, it can be.
Yeah.
And that introduces the conversation of Ride 4.
Yeah. Which is, so back to the Instinct. So that's a new bike. We have sold a ton of Instincts. In the past, I would say that, one of the best features of the Instinct is that we could turn an Instinct into an altitude, and that is not the case anymore.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's a 140, 130 or 150, 140?
150, 140.
150 in the front and 140 in the back. We are doing so much more tech than we normally do. So I'm really wondering how people are going to respond with this. If you hate it, please message Josh. And if you love it, please message me. So just so we're clear, hate Josh, love me. Okay, bye. Okay, so back to the bikes. You do have kind of a built-in kind of soup it up mode. Is that something that you can do? You said the 99. So in Rocky's nomenclature, is that the right word?
That's what I would say.
So they have a 30. Let's talk about the carbon. So the C30,
entry
level,
C50,
yep,
C70, C90, and C99.
And that's like a rare bike.
It's a very rare bike.
Yeah.
We've introduced them with their own paint jobs, exclusive colorways.
Okay.
I think by and large, and that's going to be available in Element, Altitude, and Instinct.
Okay.
And they're going to have RockShox flight attendant suspension.
Oh, wow. Okay. That'll be interesting. So
transmission, drivetrains, carbon, just about everything.
Okay. And so they're top of the line. So
yes.
And so in the 99, you spec it a little different, aside from just making pimp parts on it.
Yeah. So the Instinct C99 it's differentiated both in componentry, but also by the fact that it gets bumped up in travel.
Okay.
So whereas every other Instinct is 150, 140, the 99 gets a 160 fork.
Okay.
The stock shock size through medium through extra large is 210 by 52 and a half.
Okay.
But it'll accept a 210 55. And
Okay.
that slightly longer shock brings the travel up from 140 to 146 millimeters.
Nice. So so we used to sell a BC. So you can kind of BC this bike.
You can definitely be
Okay. And we play at the shop, we play with front travel all the time. We have a really rocky terrain. So it's really often that people are having pedal strikes. And one of the first things that we'll offer them is, aside from the cranks, which is totally doable,
Yeah.
I like to add 10 millimeters to the front. And I think our terrain in Tucson, where it's really rocky, is really accepting of that. And it does really well. So you can kind of do that with this bike and not screw it up. And you've got your Ride 4 to adjust for things. So your head angles will change. Your bottom bracket will change. So you have to accept that. But it makes it a little bit more rowdy.
I forget the specific terminology for this type of testing, but whether it's an Element, Instinct, or Slayer, every bike in the development and testing process is tested and passes said test with an additional 10 mil of travel in the fork than what comes stock.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's cool. That's really nice because I thought I was breaking the law. So, which actually, I think I actually asked you once if I can put a triple fork on my Slayer, and you said they were compatible.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and now they have a Park Slayer,
Yep.
which comes with the triple. We have those in the shop. So, So I'm going to take a break from the bike because I love talking about this stuff. However, a lot of people that listen to this podcast don't.
Right.
Like I want to say something that just happened today, and I hope Josh listens to this so he can hear it. My wife just texted me and said, I just listened to the latest episode and I really enjoyed it. And that stamp of approval is staggering because she does not ride. She doesn't. And so how on earth, is she listening to a mountain bike podcast and actually enjoying it?
Right. Hashtag lesson derailleur talk.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And so I don't want to go too far from that. So one of the things that I did want to ask you about is what is the weirdest thing out here at the Sedona Fest? Because there are vortexes. There's crystals. We have a fair amount of hippies running around.
Yeah.
I saw a Turner 5-spot in use.
Right
and that's
on.
an old bike with 26 inch. I was like really amazed. I didn't get a picture because he went by fast, which was also amazing. So what's the weirdest thing you've seen out here?
Oh, where to start? I think the first thing that comes to mind, and this actually happened at my first ever Sedona Mountain Bike Festival that I attended, which I was just told by a coworker of mine that was 7 years ago. Which
Jeez, doesn't
feels
that hurt?
like a vortex.
Yeah,
in
I
its
hate
own
when
right.
people say that. Like, yeah, okay.
And given that it was my first, and this is a very well attended event, we were very busy.
Yeah.
And a lady approaches the booth and, greet, and she's staring at the top of the tent where it says Rocky Mountain and very big. And, waiting for a response like, hey, how's it going? What's going on?
Yeah.
And she's just reading the Rocky Mountain, tent for kind of a while.
Like studying it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
and
I'm
then-
definitely intrigued because that sounds weird. Okay.
And then finally, she starts saying Rocky Mountain, and I'm like, yeah.
Now I'm creeped out.
And then she announces that she's got rocks in her pocket. And at this point, it's been so busy that I accept this as like I'm here. Show me these rocks.
You embraced it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So that's awesome. I'm so into this right now. Okay, what
And
happened?
I forget exactly how it went from there, but essentially I
Wait,
then got a
what, you forgot the rest? Like, I feel like that should have been the most important part. Is like, dude, don't cliffhanger. like that's a total.
Lo and behold, she put there. Like we're talking 8 rocks, some crystally, some not.
Okay. Now I see the connection.
And there was a lecture of the different styles.
Okay.
And yeah, I apologize for not being able to retain that information, but it was definitely a welcome to Sedona, Arizona moment.
Nice. So she was kind of saying, you don't know about rocks. I got them in my pocket.
Yeah.
Like, I know about rocks, buddy. I'm going to teach you about rocks. Okay. That's awesome. That is a good story, because I'll tell you what, I have seen. I mean, one of the things that when I come out here that's crazy, and I think this is happening, is when I walk around, I know a lot of people in the industry. Everybody looks the same. They all have the same hats. You'll see a trendiness like right now, kind of like the Super Troopers mustache is popular, popular. You know, a couple years. So I was here last year when it snowed, and I want to say last year it was all beards, lots of beards. So we see these trends in hair, facial hair. Everybody's got the same type of clothes. I'm wearing Patagonia shorts, which I wanted to shout out to Patagonia, because these shorts are pretty awesome. So
I have those.
Elliot is ambassador for them, and
he's a friend of mine.
You know Elliot?
Oh,
he's
yeah,
awesome.
Very well.
He doesn't ride the right bike, but other than that, he's pretty awesome.
He has owned a Rocky before.
Has he? Okay, yeah. Well, you know what? The right bike is whatever you're on, honestly. So, cool guy. Just met him. We're doing some suspension stuff with him, and he's a cool guy. What's his last name?
I'm not going to pronounce it right, but it's along the lines of Milner.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yes, because I have a work order for him. And so super nice guy. Shout out to Elliot if you do listen to this. He's in a lot of media. Like you'll see ads, and you'll see this guy. He's got big dreadlocks, so he's easy to spot. So somebody out there may know who we're talking about. So,
let alone his riding style is so smooth.
Is it?
Yeah.
So I will admit to you right now, I'm not like a super fan of anything except things and not people.
Sure.
And so, people will be like, I'll give you a squirrel. So a little side story. I was riding, we were racing. So this is back when I raced. I don't want to say serious because I wasn't that fast, but enough to where I was training, and we were doing Norba. So this is how long ago that is, Norba downhill. And I rode the lift at Big Bear. That used to be the Mecca where you would go.
Yeah.
And they had huge trade show, like in the parking lot. And I'm riding, and we have a big team, and our team was pretty respectable. And I'm coming down the lifts, and I think at that time I was semi-pro.
You definitely got accolades.
I was fast then. I'm super slow now, but you should have seen how much I was skateboarding on Hangover. So I'm riding the lifts. I get down, and I'm just chumming up with this guy, and we have a blast. And I'm like, hey, he's telling me about lines that I didn't know about on the pro course. And I'm like, can I follow you? And he's like, yeah, I just want to see where your lines are, because he's cutting a couple corners here and there that aren't going to be taken out with the tape. And I'm like, I just want to see if they're adding time, or taking away time. And
this is pre-Strava.
Oh, wait. So you know what we used to do? Another side note is we used to take wireless computers, because our forks were so long, and zip tie them to the axle, and then put the sensor on the fork.
Whoa.
And then you would hit start right before you started, and then bomb down the mountain. And as soon as you stopped, I'd come to a skid, just practically jump off the bike and hit it again to check my times.
Awesome.
That's some serious technology. But that's what we did, because even the wireless computers wouldn't reach my shiver, which was a huge fork, So anyway, this guy, super nice. We're hanging out. He's got a sweet bike. I think it was a Mongoose. And when I tell you the end of the story, you'll get why I don't remember which bike it is.
Well, for a Mongoose, there's a 50-50 chance it was an Intense.
So it was. And in fact, it was. And we were sponsored by Intense. So we were jabbing about bikes. And so we just come bumming down. He showed me a couple lines. I was keeping up with him, but you could tell he was faster. And I get done, and we high five, and then I leave. And my teammates are down there, and we ran a junior team. Two of the juniors came up with the biggest, what anime eyes are? The big, huge anime eyes.
Oh, yeah.
And they are like, do you know who that was? And I'm like, I don't know. I just rode with them. And they're like, that's Eric Carter.
I knew you were going to say that name.
And I'm like, I couldn't believe it. And I knew who Eric was. I had no idea, but I couldn't recognize him in a lineup. And I didn't really know. And I just don't pay attention to that stuff. And now I don't remember why we got on that. Because everybody looks the same out here. And that's how I see it. And so have you seen any weirdness besides this trip?
I think the diversity of mountain bikes that you do see throughout the vendor area is your time traveling amongst every corner, like you've alluded to.
Yeah, that Turner was easy 15 years,
right?
More than that, 20 years old.
And I love that. Puts everything in perspective, because I think with my job, I basically am riding a different bike, certainly every year, let alone sometimes more within the year, and to see the emotional attachment that people justifiably have to these bikes that are rather archaic is very admirable.
I'm opening up my phone, so Sam is pausing because I look weird. Sorry. We are recording out at the fest, so we have these cool new mics that are letting us record we're at a picnic table at the park, which is cool, right next to where I'm sorry. So I totally distracted you from what you were saying, but I wanted to say something about Sedona. So we're at right next to the jump park.
Yeah.
Have you hit it?
In years past, not yet, this time. But Rocky Mountain is the sponsor of the dual slalom casual racing that's occurring over there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's going on right now? So we could go watch that at lunch?
I think so.
Nice. That's awesome. So, if I'm driving this, it's because I'm trying to do a podcast by myself.
Yeah.
So usually I get to shut up for a while and Josh talks. So, but one thing that I do want to talk a little bit more about the bike. So let's insert that here, and then we'll talk about, I want to ask you before we cut this off about what you do, Yeah. Because I find it interesting. You're an outside rep.
Definitely.
And so just real quick on the bike. So the big thing that I wanted to let people know is we're going to have some pictures of the new Instincts. Mm-hmm. They're in the wild pictures. They're not photo pictures from because I could easily just go to your website and see this bike. It just came out Wednesday, which is 2 days ago. Right now we're recording this on Friday. So it's a big deal. You got people riding them. So you actually have them here. We've got them on the way to the shop. So we'll have them in the shop for people to check out. And the big takeaways are new geometry, new Ride 4, penalty box on the carbon bikes, 29, 27.5. Do we still have those in the small frames?
Yeah, so 27.5 is available in extra small and small. Okay. And then small also is available in 29 as well. Okay,
so you got a little overlap, because that's a big issue. I used to think that size mattered in bikes, which I think it does.
Yeah.
And I felt like the smallest people may be better on 29 or 27.5 and the tallest on 29s. I've totally been shut down many times.
Right.
Because I'll have somebody who's 5'0" come in and buy a 29 and they go kill it, on a race course or however they're riding it. And I got a guy who's 6 foot riding a 27.5, and he loves it. He doesn't want a 29. Right. So it doesn't matter. So can you run these mullet?
The official answer is no.
Okay, so they're not mullet spec'd.
Correct.
Could somebody throw on a longer fork and throw a mullet on the rear? See? I love that. So what you guys can't see is his face squinch up in a certain way, which is yes by his facial expression, but no because Rocky Mountain will say no. Is that about right?
100%. Yeah.
So, and we do stuff like that all the time. Honestly, when it comes to mullets, I prefer to take a 27.5 and make it a mullet with a 29 front.
Right.
Because of our rocky terrain and pedal strikes. I don't rarely recommend going 27.5 in the rear. Some of the guys that do park kind of like it because they're not hitting pedals as much. They're doing a lot of jumps, and it's pretty smooth. Depends on the park you go to. Mm-hmm. So Sunrise in Arizona is so rocky. I don't recommend it, but Angel Fire and Big Bear, you can get away with it. So, because they're pretty machine built, trails. So, okay. So we kind of covered the new Instinct, and I really wanted to talk about that bike because it's new. And is there anything else that Rocky has currently? So we got the Element that came out last year. Is that right? COVID messed up my memory.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we are technically on the very beginning of the third year of Element.
Okay, third year of the Element. And then Altitude, which is what I ride, that one is how many years in?
We've got to be That came out in 2021.
2021. Because I got the purple one, so I got the first year.
Yes.
So, and I love that bike. So Justin and I have an argument going on. He bought a new one this year, the copper and black.
Yep.
And my bike is 27 pounds.
Which is very light.
It's stupid light. And I don't really know. I've got Black Label wheels on there. I do run like a meaty trail tire, but nothing super like thick. No DDs, no EXO pluses. They're the Agero, Vittoria Ageros, but they're 2.6s.
Nice.
So, and I have carbon bars and carbon cranks and XX1 and I think 1-Up dropper. I can't remember what's on that bike. So my bike's pretty light at 27 pounds. Now 27, I got to throw out this caveat, 27 without pedals and no mud. Because after today, it probably weighs 2 pounds heavier, because of the mud, So, but Justin, I think, is right at 30. And he's kind of mad at me because he can't figure out why he's at 30 and I'm like almost 3 pounds lighter. And when I say 27, you can pretty much guarantee it's 27 something.
Sure.
So I'll let everybody know that I fib a little bit. 27. If
you
the bike weighs,
down.
if the bike weighs 27.4, I'm going to say 27
all day.
If it weighs 27.9, I'm going to say 27. So, but still, it's a couple pounds lighter than his. So, that one's 21. So we're only 3 years into that.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not long in the tooth. So, but it's a nice bike. Now, okay, enough about so other than that, we got in Rocky's lineup, we got the Instinct, which is a trail bike. That's going to be the bike that people want for majority of the riding. I would say it's probably their workhorse.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
We're not afraid to call it the most versatile platform within our full suspension line.
Yeah. And then I was talking to Cam, and he was showing me he's in Bellingham now.
Yeah.
And the rides he's doing, so he's probably on an altitude.
Correct.
Okay, yeah. Even though it's loamy, he's doing steep stuff up there. So Cam is one of the Rocky guys. He was a demo driver when I met these guys. Now he's outside sales at Bellingham.
Right.
What a dream job.
Right.
So that's pretty awesome. And for those of you who don't know what Bellingham is, it is a kind of the hidden gem. It's like Sedona used to be, where it's like awesome riding, just North Shore kind of like Whistler-esque type in Washington. Top of Washington, is that right?
Yeah,
up above Seattle,
super close to the Canadian border.
Yeah, and it's just got awesome trails. I just salivate when I see them there. I just really want to go there. I haven't been there.
The amount of rain that they get is a little overwhelming, but the pro is that you can ride in the rain. And you're not gonna wreck anything. The
videos he was showing were just super steep drop-ins, and then you hit a garden of roots. Which I can't ride because I live in Arizona. We don't have roots. What is a root? So, and rain, we don't really know what that is. And then tell me about what you do for Rocky. So you're basically a sales rep outside.
Yeah, more than basically.
Yeah.
Why don't we start with?
Well, I mean, like you do,
started.
like you have a region.
Yeah.
Like you have a territory? Do you have to pee on stuff in order to claim it? Do they assign it? How does that work?
So my sales territory is the area in the country that I cover. And this includes, it's basically a straight line.
Oh.
That's what I joke to people, that it's Tucson to Jackson Hole.
There you go. Nice. Which is why we don't get to see you very often. That's a lot of area. That's a lot of area.
And I reside in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Nice.
Which, generally speaking, is rather central to the territory, especially considering how much nothingness is in southern Utah.
Okay. Yeah.
So I cover Arizona as a state, Las Vegas, but not the rest of Nevada.
That's weird.
Yeah,
that's really weird. So you get to pick like the best town, and then somebody else has to do all the radiation.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Yep. Utah, and then it gets even kind of weirder. So eastern Idaho, but we're talking like the border of eastern Idaho. So Pocatello, Idaho Falls, Rexburg into Driggs.
Okay.
Driggs Victor, which is like the backside of the Tetons.
Okay.
And then,
tell me something. I've never heard of Driggs.
Yeah.
I have a visual of what people look like in drigs. Just tell me what that is, because my visual is pretty bleak.
Yeah, I don't want to be condescending here, but hills have eyes came into my head.
Okay, all right, that's kind of what was in my eyes. So that's what was in my head. So.
At the same time, as Jackson Hole has sort of evolved and become huge, that Driggs is home of Grand Targhee Resort.
Oh yeah. See, now I've heard of that.
Yeah,
I haven't heard of Driggs, but I've heard of that
for sure. So. It's rather wonderful, and for how busy Jackson is, and Driggs is not far behind at this point. It's a little bit slower pace than Jackson.
Oh, nice. So, like, I don't know. Do you have to fly everywhere, or do you drive? Like, how do you do that? Do you just do it once a year? You come by and you just do one trip a year on your car, or like?
It's fair to say that COVID changed a lot of things.
Yeah.
In the nature of both my travel schedule and the way. Predominantly, it's driving with the occasional flights here and there.
Okay.
And Rocky Mountain is definitely amongst the, our distribution is through brick and mortar bike retail.
Yeah.
And so I partner with Rocky Mountain dealers to make sure that we can both be successful together.
Oh, nice.
And so that everyone can #love the ride.
Nice. There you go. #love the ride. So I hashtag Rocky Mountain all the time.
Yeah.
I don't think I do love the ride. Like, I have to start practicing. I'm old. And so Instagram, I'm learning and getting better at. Facebook, I'm pretty competent, although, I can always learn. And, I don't know if there's anything else out there. I think there's Twitter, or what Twitter became. I don't really do that.
It's scary to think that I know that my MySpace still exists out there.
No way. Can you go to old MySpaces still? They didn't just fade away? Like,
no.
Is there like a server or something?
From every year, it takes me longer to find. But if I'm motivated enough and we're joking around about MySpace, I can find my MySpace.
That's crazy. I never did the MySpace. I definitely went on MySpace like once or twice to look up people.
Yeah.
Honestly, I got into Facebook. We're total rabbit hole right now, but I got into Facebook when I had my daughter, who's now 12.
Mm-hmm.
And so 12 years ago is when I started social media. And that is kind of crazy because I'm kind of obsessed with it now. Not in a bad way,
sure.
But we had an outage. So what is the date today? March 8th. Okay, so 2 days ago, I think Facebook went out all over the country for like a couple hours.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, I posted up afterwards, it was so quiet, which it was. And the responses I got were 50-50.
Uh-huh.
Like, yeah, totally. And I didn't notice. So, but I'll tell you what, man, it was kind of shocking how, I was like, how do I talk to my friends now?
Right.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I feel like that's super crazy. Do I have to call them?
Totally.
Each one? I can't just blurt something out online and they all see it. I have to literally call people. It was weird, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm old. Back in the day, I used to have phone numbers on a piece of paper in my wallet. So I'd remember them all so I could call people, and that's how I would get hold of our friends and we would go out and party. You didn't post something or message them. You called them and then you had to leave a message. And so then you had to go home after work and listen to your messages to find out what you were doing that night.
That's right. That's right.
It's crazy. Okay, that's the rabbit hole. So I think we're going to wrap this up. It's a little bit shorter because Josh isn't here and he's the tall one. I'm the short one. So a little bit shorter. So I hope everybody enjoyed this. We're going to try and post this separate than we normally do because it's kind of a bonus episode. And I'm really thank you for coming, Sam, and talking about Rocky Mountain. I hope we got enough out there.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Hey, what's up? This is Josh from the Mountain Cog podcast. You got questions, comments, or feedback? Well, we'd love to hear from you. Shoot us an email. You can send it to mountaincog@gmail.com. Digging the show? There's a couple things you could do to help us out. First, you could tell your friends about Mountain Cog. And also, it would be great if you'd give us a good rating and review over at Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you listen. We appreciate y'all. Go ride, keep the rubber side down.